Hello everyone, good day. My name is Abdul Karim Madali Isamboron and we are the group 1 and our topic is, does morality depend on religion? Introduction. Does morality depend on religion? The first subtopic is the presumed connection between morality and religion. Before we discuss the subtopic, first we need to explain and discuss what is morality and religion and what are their connection. First, morality. What is morality? Morality is a principle concerning the distinction between the right and wrong or good and bad behavior, while religion is the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a person, God or gods. If we connect between them, it's really far. In 1995, the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, sued Judge Roy Moore for Gadsden, Alabama, for displaying the Ten Commandments. Such a display, the ACLU said, violated the separation of church and state, which is guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. In 2000, Moore successfully campaigned to become Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, running on a promise to restore the moral foundation of law. The Ten Commandments judge thus became the most powerful jurist in the state of Alabama. The United States is a religious country. 92% of Americans says they believe in God, and 56% says that religion is very important in their life. In popular thinking, morality and religion are inseparable. People commonly believe that morality can be understood only in the context of religion. Thus, they clearly are assumed to be authorities in morality. It is not hard to see why people think this when viewed from the non-religion perspective. The universe seems to be a cold, meaningless place, devoid of venue and purpose. Judaism and Christianity teach that the world was created by the loving and all-powerful God to provide a home for us. We in turn were created in His image to be His children. Thus, the world is not devoid of meaning and purpose. It is instead the arena in which God's plans are realized. Again, we need to connect what is the relation between morality and religion. What could be more natural than to think of morality as a part of religion, while the atheist world has no place for values. In the mind of many people, the terms morality and religion signal two related but distinct ideas. Morality is thought to be pertain to the conduct of human affairs and relation between persons, while religion primarily involves the relationship between human being and a transcendent reality. Again, religion and morality are not synonyms, though religion may depend on morality. Second, even develop alongside morality. Morality does not necessarily depend upon religion, despite some making an almost automatic assumptions to this effect. In popular thinking, morality and religion are inseparable. People commonly believe that morality can be understood only in the context of religion, thus clearly assumed to be authorities in morality. Just like Mark Hopkins says, religion without morality is a superstition and a curse, and morality without religion is impossible.
So hello, I am Merilinda Micaela L. Maldonado, and now I will be discussing about the divine command theory. So what exactly is the divine command theory? Christians, Muslims, and Jews believe that God has told us to obey certain rules of conduct. Hence, this theory focuses on what God decrees is right or wrong. Or to put it in simple terms, God determines which is right and which is wrong. This is the advantage of the divine command theory, where it allows to immediately solve the problem of the objectivity of ethics. Ethics is not just a matter of personal feelings or social customs. This advantage basically decrees that it is right if God commands it, and it is wrong if God forbids it. And on the day of reckoning, you will be held accountable with all of your actions, may it be right or wrong. With the advantage of the divine command theory, here also comes a set of problems to the theory, which is number one, the atheists will not accept it. Why is this? Well, atheists do not believe in a God, and divine command theory focuses on what the God decrees is right or wrong. In Euthyphro, written by Socrates, he asks, is it right because the gods command it? Or do the gods command it because it is right? Is it God that makes the moral truths? Or is it that he recognizes the moral truth? When it comes to the divine command theory, there are three conceptions of morality. Number one being, this conception of morality is mysterious. Number two being, this conception of morality makes God's commandments arbitrary. And number three, this conception of morality provides the wrong reasons for moral principles. Let us start with the first conception of morality, which is that morality is mysterious. It is mysterious because I asked the question, what if God commands something wrong would be considered right? Would that still be considered wrong? And how can merely commanding it be right? For example, child abuse. What if God commands it that a slap is right? Would that still be considered child abuse, since God makes the truth? If this is true, then morality would be a mystery. Next would be the conception of morality makes God's commandments arbitrary. God is painted as a parent or authoritative figure whom asks for a reason when it comes to commandments or to rules will answer, quote unquote, because I said so. This is imposing arbitrarily to the figure asked, to which is quite like God imposing that on us. With the divine command theory, he can totally demand the opposite. For example, God commanded us to be truthful, but what if he commanded us to be liars? Then lying would be considered right, because God is right. God creates reasons, because before, there were no proper reasons that were developed before he established it. Because of this, God is arbitrary. He could command anything whatsoever, and this results to impious from a religious view and was very unacceptable. The conception of morality provides the wrong reasons for moral principles. Let us start off with the argument: if God did not exist, then it wouldn't be wrong, right? Let us take into account lying. God told us to be truthful. But what if we lie? Then it would be wrong. What if God did not exist? Then lying would be alright, or it would be correct, or it would be right. Some religious texts also go against each other. A religious person can question or doubt what God has commanded. And even some religious texts have inconsistencies when it comes to a single text. For example, child abuse is no doubt bad, but what God commanded is whether hitting children is wrong is another. Socrates' second option, where rather saying the right conduct is right because God commands it, we say God commands us to do certain things because they are right. God is infinitely wise, hence recognizes that being truthful or truthfulness is better than deceitfulness. He commands us to be truthful. This also counters the second conception, where God's commandments are not arbitrary, because God tells us or commands us because of His wisdom in knowing what is the best for us. We are also not saddled with wrong explanations for our moral principles. Instead, we are free to appeal to whatever justifications that may seem appropriate to us. Also, the second option abandons theological conception of right and wrong, which is acknowledging that the standard of goodness is God's will. And if we ask why, we circle back to the reason that God commands it, and that the answer is ultimately its reason. A lot or many of the people believe that they must accept theological conception of right and wrong because it would be sacrilegious if they did not. These people feel that they should believe in God's right and wrong to be understood in God's wishes through divine command theory. Though divine command theory is not only unattainable but also impious, where even St. Thomas Aquinas connected morality and religion differently.
The natural law theory. Natural law theory proposes that as physical laws of nature exist, so do universal moral laws. The theory of natural law rests on a particular view of the world. On this view, the world has a rational order with values and purposes built into its very nature. This idea comes from the Greeks, and their worldview has dominated the Western thinking for over 1,700 years. The Greeks did believe that everything in nature has a purpose, and Aristotle built this idea into his system of thought. To understand anything Aristotle said, 4 questions must be asked. What is it? What is it made of? How did it come to be? And what is it for? An example, as an engineering student, the answer I can give is, what is it? This is a road. What is it made of? It is made of concrete. How did it come to be? Engineers made the road possible. And what is it for? It is for vehicles to travel from one place to another. Aristotle said, nature belongs to the class of causes which act for the sake of something. One natural object Aristotle gave as an example was our teeth. Our teeth is made for chewing. The laws of nature describe not only how things are, but also how things ought to be. The world is in harmony when things serve their natural purposes. But when things do not serve their natural purposes, or cannot, then things have gone wrong. But there are also implications for human conduct. moral rules are now viewed as deriving from the laws of nature. Some ways of behaving are regarded as natural or unnatural. When one behaves unnaturally, then the act is seen as morally wrong. An example of this would be the duty of beneficence. Beneficence is defined as an act of charity, mercy, and kindness with a strong connotation of doing good to others, including moral obligation. According to the theory of natural law, beneficence is natural for us, given the kind of creatures we are. The third part concerns moral knowledge. On the theory of natural law, the natural laws of morality are just laws of reason. So, what's right is what's supported by the best arguments. And on this view, we can figure out what's right because God has given us the ability to reason. Outside the Catholic Church, the theory of natural law is generally rejected for three reasons. First, the idea that what's natural is good seems open to obvious counterexamples. Sometimes, what's natural can be bad. An example would be a disease. A disease occurs naturally, but disease is bad. Second, the theory of natural law seems to confuse is and ought. In the 18th century, David Hume pointed out that what is the case and what ought to be the case are logically different notions. We can say that people are not naturally disposed to be beneficent, but it does not follow that they ought to be beneficent. Third, the theory of natural law is now widely rejected because its view of the world conflicts with the modern science. Galileo, Newton, and Darwin has described the world as no need for facts about right and wrong. Their explanations of nature make no reference to values or purposes. Modern science gives us a picture of the world as a realm of facts, where the only natural laws are the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology, working blindly and without purpose.
4.4, or the fourth subtopic, is religion and particular moral issue. In this topic, we will discuss the 5 different main points. First, moral views not derived from religion, commitments. Second, abortion, the scripture unclear. Third, abortion, church traditions changing views. Fourth, reinterpretation by every generation to support its favored moral views. And then lastly, morality and religion are different. It is often difficult to find specific moral guidance in the scriptures, particularly regarding controversial issue that seems urgent to us today. Religious authorities disagree, leaving the believers to choose which the interpretation to accept. In this topic, we will discuss religion and particularly moral issue. More on Christians. For them, the connection between morality and religion is an immediate, practical matter that center on particular moral issue. The scripture may be silent on matter that seems pressing to us. The Bible does contain a number of general precepts, for example, to love one neighbor and to treat other as one wishes to be treated. The scripture. It is difficult to derive prohibition against abortion from either the Jewish or the Christian scripture. The scripture never condemn abortion by name. However, conservatives sometimes quote certain passage that seems to be suggest that fetus have full human status. Baby, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. Other biblical passage supports a liberal view of abortion. 3 times the death penalty is recommended for women who have had sex out of wedlock, even though killing a woman would be also kill her fetus. This suggests that the fetus has no right to life. Also in Exodus 21, God tells Moses that the penalty of murder is death. However, the penalty for causing a woman to miscarry is only a fine. The law of Israel seems to be regard the fetus as something less than a person. Second, church tradition. Catholic Church strongly oppose abortion. In many Protestant churches, too, abortion is routinely denounced from the pulpit. With the light of the tradition, Catholic thinking abortion is wrong because it is disturb a natural process. To conclude, morality is a matter of reason and conscience, not religious faith. And in any case, religious consideration do not provide definite solution to most of the moral problems that we face. Morality and religion are, in the world, different. People often make up their minds about moral issue. They interpret the scripture or church tradition in a way that supports the moral conclusion they have already reached. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Do you have any question? Just email us. Again, thank you.